See, guys, so right now I'm feeling actually good. I'm feeling good about myself. The thing is that I have to do better in terms of my habits. I have to make sure every single day I'm doing something in regards to personal development or getting my quotes up there, or making sure every single day that I'm doing a work in progress. Every single day I'm doing something to succeed. So, for example, I record myself because, for example, when I record myself, I post it up to YouTube. And the more I post content on YouTube, the more I can help someone to succeed. And that's the way it is, guys. So make sure you're always expressing yourself somehow, and having a nice and beautiful conversation with yourself every single day is going to be good for your health, and it's going to help your mentality. It's going to help your mentality to grow. So that's why I always grow myself this way. But the thing is that what I found recently was an iPad. For example, my dad's iPad. And I have my dad's iPad with me over here. And what I use it for is Netflix. And why do I use it for Netflix? Because I have a bigger screen, and when I watch images, I watch images very quickly while I read an audiobook. And I have a pen. I have a nice and beautiful pen where I can navigate the screen of the iPad or any type of phone out there. I can navigate with my pen. And what I do is I have a cursor on the Netflix, and I just go with the cursor with the pen, and I watch all these images while I'm reading. And I do it on the iPad now, and I used to do it inside of my phones, but I can still do it inside of my phones because I still get the idea. I still get the idea of what's happening inside of the Netflix regardless. But have an iPad for yourself and get yourself one of those Samsung tablets or iPad tablets, and start watching Netflix really quickly so that you can absorb information. And that's very important. So every single day when I do that, I boost my imagination this way. And the more I boost my imagination, the better for me. So, for example, now things are going great for me. I'm getting my 5th quote book up online now. And I have another 30,000 quotes to deliver online. And I have to sit down and have to transcribe everything into a ebook for myself, into an ebook, so that I can grow myself and so I can get my message across and nothing else. And then once I get all my quotes up and all my audio programs up, and then I can slowly start to do that one by one for myself, and slowly navigate myself to do much more content for myself, so that I'm growing and so that I live my life to the fullest. So, for example, my dad's sleeping now. I understand that I'm coming back to Australia. I'm coming back to Australia now since my mum wants me to come back to Australia because it's much more affordable for me to do so. And I have to go the best affordable route all the time. So I understand that I'm going to be seeing my dad for a bit more. And I have no problems with that. But for myself over here, I understand every single day to just grow as much as I can every single day. I've been listening to Eric Prydz music podcast, and it satisfies. So I have to always do better for myself in all ranges, and just teach as much as possible people to grow and just to understand much more about life. But the thing is that if I was 16 years of age now, what would I tell myself from this point of view? I'd say don't do the drugs. I'd say try to read as much as possible every single day. Try to be your best version all the time. That's what I would say. And every single day I'm understanding how people are making millions of dollars these days, and they're creating a service and stuff like that. But you must understand, it's not the money. I'm pretty sure the money is not worth it if you're not providing a service. You have to provide a service if you want to achieve anything in life. You have to have some type of service that you're doing, and you have to have a purpose every single day of your life. You have to be doing something to make sure that people are successful. And so you have to understand that the more you succeed, the more you have to help others people to succeed. So, for example, all I do is spread information as much as possible, and nothing else. My purpose is to just give as much of my thoughts as possible into the world, and try to at least have 10,000 YouTube videos online for myself over my lifetime, so that I can help someone to succeed, and nothing else. Understand, as soon as I post all my audio programs up online into YouTube, I'm understanding somebody out there is going to click on it and somebody's going to get at least some idea. And that's it, approach nothing else. I just want to create all those ideas so that people have those ideas in the world. And that's it. I just want to be able to give my ideas. And I can do that for myself. And that's what's satisfying. I promise you, it's very satisfying to be able to do audio programs when I'm at nighttime over here. So, for example, it's nighttime in Australia right now. I turned off the lights over here in my room. And I have the nice and beautiful heater on. I have the fan on as well. And I am just nicely warm, and I'm keeping myself warm. I'm keeping myself occupied. I'm doing something to succeed. I didn't want to go poker tonight because I have things to do, and I didn't want to give $45 for poker so that I can go have an experience over there. I'm understanding $45 a day is very, let's say, expensive to give when you only receive $990 per fortnight, I promise you. So, for example, if you calculate that, I promise you, if you're giving $45 for poker every single day for a fortnight, it works out to be around $600. But what I'm trying to do is save money so I can have over there in Germany so that I can see my mum and have some money on me and stuff like that. So it's very important for me to do so, and I understand that I just have to get my message across. I just have to get as much point form essays and information across as much as possible so that I can live my life and nothing else. I promise you, my purpose is just to spread information as much as possible and read as much as possible and nothing else. I want to live my life to the fullest every single day. I want to make sure that I'm healthy. I want to be healthy. I want to exercise. I want to make sure that I can breathe to the fullest every single day. I want to just give my thoughts out there as much as possible and nothing else. So that's my purpose, and as long as I'm doing my purpose out there, I'm understanding that I'm doing greater good. So when I'm gone from this world, I can look into my YouTube channel. I can see exactly everyone who's watching me. I can see exactly how much I spread information in the world, and I make a positive world out of that, and nothing else. I promise you, it's much more. If people are willing to read all my quotes and stuff like that, I promise they're going to get more wisdom. I promise they're going to get more Danny Milivojevic. And that's it, guys. I understand I started my quote section. I started my quotes about 5 years ago. And the thing is, I'm still keeping up with it. I'm still remaining consistent into teaching people things. And I'm changed. I'm a different person than I was at 18 years of age. I promise you, when I was 18, I wasn't giving much information into the world. I was experiencing things, but I was still young, and I'm still young today, and I'm younger than ever before, all the time in my wisdom. But the thing is that the body will die, and you must understand your body's going to die eventually. So you must understand that the spiritual aspects of life always live on, but everything that's the physical world dies away. I mean, do you understand? So the thing is that trees are dying away. I mean, everything in this world's dying away. But the spiritual aspects of everything is living on forever. So you have to always watch details. I mean, you have to you have to watch as many details as possible every single day. You have to be aware of your room. You have to be aware of exactly where things are put and why they are there, for example. And you have to always deliver in a nice and beautiful way so that you're actually always growing yourself. So there's nothing much more important than that. I promise you, every single day, always thriving and planning everything into an audio program every single day. And now I have more purpose to do my audio programs in a way that I'm always life coaching in those audio programs instead of just documenting my life for the shits and giggles. I'm understanding that what I'm doing right now is I'm making audio programs every single day, but when I make it because I want to deliver purpose to people. I want to make sure that people have purpose in life. And I just want to make sure that my ideas are out there in the world and nothing else. I just want to help people, and the more I help people, the better for me. So people think I'm doing nothing in life. Like, for example, my mum, she believes that my hobbies are nothing. I mean, she believes it's nothing too obvious. I mean, you're saying, I mean, she doesn't realize that the more I spread information across to other people, the more I can help this world to succeed. And nothing else do I want to do But she doesn't understand that. I promise you, she teaches me life, but she doesn't want to teach you life. I mean, you understand? I mean, she doesn't want to make a YouTube channel for herself so that she can spread her thoughts and stuff like that into the world. And that's the thing. I mean, for myself in the next year, I promise you I'm going to be uploading a lot of content regardless. And there's a lot of content to be made for myself over here. So what I want to do is just every single day grow as much as possible, live life to the fullest every single day, and always provide as much information as possible so that I'm living life, so that I can have a dream, so that I can always imagine, and I can always, for my kids, for example, if I ever have kids in this lifetime, I mean, they're going to have a dad that gives all this information. And no matter what, that information is going to bring them to a greater mentality to live life. I mean, you understand, because I have a lot of thoughts that I've been giving, and that's going to shape them in some kind of way to live a better life. And now they're going to obviously look at me in terms of my life and how my life is. I'm going to try to help them as much as possible with money and information to give them the best possible life that I can. And that's what any father or mother can do for their kids every single day. I mean, they're saying it's always providing, and it's always that you provide and that you're providing information for your kids or for other people to live a greater life. So if people really study you and they study your life, I promise you they're going to be able to pick up your thoughts and your energy into the world, and they're going to be able to manifest a greater life for themselves. And that's the whole point of life, to manifest your dreams and to manifest something that's really helping you and that's really growing you. So while I'm actually talking to you, I'm uploading content right now. And luckily I have this Mega Drive, for example, because what I do with my Mega Drive is, if I didn't have a Mega Drive, I'd put everything into my Google account, or I'd put it into an online storage somehow. But Mega Drive provides me with all the tools necessary to be able to navigate through an online storage where I can go and upload all my content online somewhere, so I can store that information, and so that I can store the information online somewhere and nothing else. And that's the whole point of Mega Drive and having an online storage. So you're always seeking to do better all the time, and you're making sure that you have all your nice and beautiful quotes and everything that you're doing, for example. So make sure that you're writing quotes as much as possible. I have 34 quote books at the moment, and each quote book has 1,001 quotes. So I'm always delivering that information to other people as much as possible, so that somebody can change their life through my life. I mean, you understand? And if I help one person, that's enough for me. I mean, you must understand that I've helped many people in life in terms of information, and anybody who comes to my information in the real world or in the online world, I promise you they always have everything they ever need from me personally, in terms of everything, in terms of information. So I study information, I study a life well lived. I study everybody as much as I can every single day. I study as much as possible so that I live life to the fullest, so that I'm actually always abbreviating for myself as much as possible. But I'm trying to leave a legacy behind. I'm trying to document my life as much as possible so that I can succeed. And I'm trying to actually always be positive around myself every single day. But I'm feeling good right now, and even though my habits are not exactly where I need them to be at the moment, I'm understanding that I'm doing better in some other areas of life. And it's not like I'm my worst version at the moment. So I understand I'm my best version in some areas, but in some areas I'm lacking. And I'm lacking in some areas, for example. So, for example, smoking cigarettes and drinking caffeine, and that's it. I understand nothing else do I need at the moment. So I'm understanding that what I need at the moment is to quit smoking cigarettes and to quit caffeine for good. And once I do that, then I'll be well on my way to a better way of life. And that's what I'm asking of myself, to give of myself as much as possible. But I understand I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid to give my thoughts out there. I'm not afraid for other people to listen to me in terms of life. I'm not afraid to be able to do anything. I mean, you understand? So I'm not afraid in life. I'm not afraid to succeed. I mean, you understand? I realize my life is one. I understand my life is always doing better in some areas as well. So I'm understanding I'm picking up, but I'm understanding that I'm not going back from this point. I mean, you understand? I'm not going backwards. I'm pushing myself forwards in integrity. So I'm living up to my word in some areas of life, but in other areas I'm letting myself down with my word. I mean, in a sense, so the thing is that I have to always do better. And I understand that I used to be 113 kilos, and I'm now 106 kilos. I mean, in a sense, so I've lost, that's 6-7 kilos less than before, and I'm on medication as well. So I'm doing better than my previous attempt. And I'm understanding before, when I was on medication, I was 113 kilos on medication, and I didn't have the wisdom I have today, for example. And now what's changed? I, I read a lot more. I have a lot more wisdom in me, and I can navigate my life much better now than ever before. So I'm not like one of those stupid idiots that, for example, kills other people or that causes violence in the world. I mean, yes, I'm someone who's nice and positive every single day, and I'm doing the best I can. So the more I do audio programs, for example, the more I can navigate my life and the more I can succeed. And this is my documentary journal, for example. So instead of writing my journal, I just make an audio podcast, for example. And then I upload it to YouTube so someone can listen and nothing else. So every single day I'm understanding that the more I vibe, the better for me, and the more I spread information across, the more I can succeed and the more I'll have for myself. So for example, my mother, I understand that she's working through me. I mean, in a sense, so for example, my parents understand that they're not doing much in the world now in terms of information. I mean, you understand, I'm doing a lot in terms of information, but they're not doing a lot in terms of information. But what they are doing, for example, is helping me, and then I'm helping you. I mean, you understand? So, for example, they're working through me now. I mean, you understand? So anything that they're doing for me, they're doing it for you as well. I mean, you understand? So as much information as possible that I provide, I understand that the better outcomes I have in terms of all realities. I understand I can take myself on a journey when I talk. I mean, in a sense, so the thing is that when I express myself in my thoughts, I understand that I'm very broad in terms of how I speak and how I communicate. And the more I communicate broadly, the more I can help people in terms of all ranges. I mean, yes, now I can be equivalent to someone who's successful in terms of some areas of life, and I can teach you based on those successes. I can teach you exactly how to succeed and how to be your best version, and nothing else. I promise you, I can teach you exactly that. I can teach you exactly what you need to do on a daily basis to succeed and to live your life and to make sure that you're always doing better. I mean, in a sense, so there's always a thing to do, and there's always things to do in life where you can teach other people, and you can always understand that those people who are more generous with information are always much more richer in the process of life because they have better legacies and they have better information and they have a better way of life. So, for example, I'm always setting myself up for success when I read more, and the more I read, the better for me, and the more I can do. I understand that. So for myself over here, I'm understanding it's much more about expressing myself every single day, because that way I succeed and I make sure every single day that you're successful in whatever you're doing, because that's my job. I realize my job is to work in the planet every single day to spread as much information as possible so I'm successful and nothing else. I'm pretty sure every single day I'm always delivering as much as possible. Every single day I'm living life to the fullest in some ranges of life. I'm understanding that, but I understand that I'm never going backwards from this point. I mean, this point forward, I understand from this point forward, I'm moving forward from now on. And I'm not going back to drugs in terms of illegal drugs. I'm not going to take illegal drugs anymore. I'm understanding that it's been already 8 years since I did illegal drugs. And for example, I remember when I was at that stage when I was doing illegal drugs, I didn't know that if I could do it. I didn't know if I could go without drugs, for example. So from that point, I continued on to smoking cigarettes and drinking caffeine, but I let go of illegal drugs, like for example cocaine or weed or ecstasy, or for example methamphetamine or speed, for example. So those were the drugs I was taking before, and it made me I realized it made me a schizophrenic, to be honest. I was really mentally ill. I was like, for example, I didn't have the wisdom I have today, and that's the thing. So for example, when I look at my previous notion of who I was to the person I am today, I'm a much better person in terms of areas of life, like for example expressing myself and my confidence and my ability to teach. For example, I understand my teaching abilities have really skyrocketed in the previous 5 years. So ever since I made that book, Ultimate Road to Success, I'm understanding that ever since I made that book, I tried to promote it as much as possible, but the thing is, it didn't work out in terms of bestseller. But the thing is, you must understand that it's out there in the world and people can read that information and they can become their best version through that information. I understand that. But the thing is that I teach people like that, and I'm understanding that I started teaching at 25 years of age and I'm almost 30 right now. So I'm turning 30 on May 28th, in terms of May 28th, 2022. But I'm born 28th of May, 1992. So I'm 29 years of age right now. And in a month time, I'm going to be 30. I mean, in a sense, I'm leaving my 20s. And oh my God, I mean, if I didn't start teaching, if I didn't start doing all those quotes, and if I didn't start writing books and writing all these videos, for example, I'd be behind. I'd be very stupid. I mean, you understand? I'd be taking a lot of information from other people, but doing nothing with it, for example. I mean, you understand? But the whole point is expressing yourself, and many people don't know how to express themselves. For example, I don't know how to express myself, and that's why I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to express myself every single day. And many people, for example, my friends from the past, I mean, they're not teaching other people as much as they need to be. I mean, you see, I mean, they're unaware about that. I mean, they're unaware about a world where they can be their best version in terms of teaching and in terms of giving back. I mean, you understand? I mean, you have to be giving back something in life. So, for example, I receive money from the government, but I work for that money. I mean, you understand? I work to have that money in my life because I receive it. I mean, you understand? So, if God gave you $1,000 every fortnight, would you receive it? I promise you, you'd receive it. I mean, in a sense, so there's no shame in that. I mean, there's no shame in receiving money from the government. But also, if you understand, for example, all I can do to the doctors, for example, and I can do it for myself, is I can say I'm a schizophrenic, I can say that I hear voices and stuff like that. And forever, I shall be on the disability support pension without having to work a 9-to-5 job. But the thing is that I want to find out how it is to work a 9-to-5 job for myself eventually. And I'm understanding that I'm very keen on that because I'll have more money. And it's not the money, but the thing is that I'll have, for example, I'll have a better life in some areas because what I can do is I can have a family for myself. I can go traveling. I can do a bit more things for myself this way in terms of travel and in terms of being able to have kids. So, for example, I'm moving into fatherhood at the moment. I'm understanding that I'm getting there. I'm understanding I'm not right there yet, but I'm understanding that all a father does or a mother does is teach their children. I mean, you understand? And the more you teach your children, the better for you. So I'm starting now. I'm starting to teach now my children. So, for example, if I ever do have children, I'm understanding they have 34,000 quotes from me. I promise you they have over 800 hours of videos that they can watch from me. I promise you they have another 800 hours of audio programs they can read from me. And also they have 3 years or 4 years of journaling that I've done. I mean, you understand? So, for example, they can read about my life. I mean, they can study me. I mean, you understand? And they can study my life. And the more they study my life, the more they can become their best versions. And not like me. I mean, they don't become like me. I mean, they have my attitude to life, for example, but they have their own attitudes. I mean, you understand? But the thing is that I teach them much more about life, and that's why I'm starting now. I'm starting now to teach them because, for example, your kids are always going to be able to learn from you and stuff like that. So you have to understand that my dad doesn't teach me much about life. I mean, you understand? I mean, he talks to me, but he doesn't teach me much about life. I mean, you understand? So you must understand that my mum, for example, teaches me more about life now than my dad. I mean, you understand? I mean, my mum has better communicational skills than my dad at the moment. And she's doing much better in terms of life than my dad, for example. In terms of health, in terms of lots of things in life, for example. So, for example, I understand that I'm doing much better than my mum and dad in terms of spreading information out there and giving my thoughts out there every single day. So that's how I invest my time. But I understand that the more I read, the more I can become a millionaire and the more I can become a billionaire, for example. So it's much more about getting that wisdom. So I understand that people who are billionaires have done something to become a billionaire. And you can only ever become a billionaire if you build a real estate business and if you build a business that builds a service for other people. I mean, and that's the only way you can become a billionaire, and nothing else. But you have to go out there and you have to get that information, and you have to read from those people as much as possible, and you have to understand that everybody's on a personal development journey every single day, and everybody's trying to grow as much as possible. But some people are dying and some people have given up on life. And for example, my dad, I'm understanding he's giving up on life more and more every single day. I understand that because I can see his habits. I can see that he's not learning as much as he needs to be. I mean, understand, and he's not pushing himself to do better. I mean, you understand? But the thing is that he's pushing himself to do better in some areas, but in other areas he's letting himself down. I mean, you understand? And the same with my mum, and the same with everybody. But for myself over here, I'm understanding that I'm letting myself down in some areas of life, but in some areas of life I'm pushing on and I'm really succeeding in those areas. And I'm understanding that, for example, all I want to do is just I want to remember my life. I want to reflect upon life every single day, talking about my story, talking about all the moments I had in life. And you must understand, I've had many moments in life where I've had women with me in terms of life, where I had two women kiss me on the face, for example. And for example, maybe you guys have had threesomes, for example. I've never had an orgy in my life. I've never had a threesome, for example. And you must understand, I never want to have a threesome with any woman. I mean, you understand? So the thing is that it's much more how I understand that it's not satisfactory for me. I mean, you must understand that it may be satisfactory while you're doing it, but the thing is that eventually it leaves you wanting more. I mean, you understand? So every single day you have to always provide something. You have to provide a service. You have to be able to grow. You have to understand every single day to do something that's courageous. I mean, you understand? So every single day you build courage on yourself. You build your techniques of becoming better than you are every single day. I mean, going to seminars as much as possible, learning from people, learning the newest information out there. You can get it in seminars. You have to look around in your local area every single day, and you have to understand that they're going to sell you on things, and they're going to sell you on information. I mean, you understand? And they're going to say why you need this information and all that. But the thing is, then they make you feel alone in that information. I mean, you must understand that people will sell you on information and they will sell their products, and then when you get their products, they make you feel alone, like you're on a journey alone, learning. I mean, you understand? So the thing is that nobody's going to read for me, and nobody's going to pick up an audiobook to tell me read an audiobook. I mean, you understand? I have to read on my own, and I have to understand that people have said, for example, read audiobooks and read as much as possible, but you have to find the time to do that for yourself. And I understand many people don't have time to read. I mean, they don't have time to exercise. I mean, they don't have time to live their best life. I mean, you understand? So many people are struggling today, and then they're eating meat, for example. You must understand that meat's not addictive. I mean, it's not addictive to eat meat. I mean, you understand? I mean, meat's psychologically, and you must understand that if you understand that everything's psychological in life, I mean, you must understand that you can do without meat, and you can do without cigarettes, and you can do without caffeine, and you can live that life. And I promise you, you're not going to die. I promise you, you're not going to die. All that's going to happen is you're going to have better health. I mean, in a sense, so the thing is that if you really want to improve, you're always going to find things to say, and you're always going to find things to do. I mean, in a sense, so that's the thing about me today. I'm understanding that I'm doing my quotes. I'm understanding nobody's going to do it for me. I'm understanding that I don't want anybody else to do it for me. I'm understanding that I don't want to send my quote book or my quotes to other people for them to do it for me. I'm understanding I want to sit down. I want to make sure I can go through all my quotes, self-reflect upon all the thoughts I had and all the person I was and stuff like that. And I'm understanding I've learned a lot in terms of quotes. So, for example, I went and I transcribed 133 quotes, and in the meantime, I created 44 quotes. So my quotes are stimulating more quotes to grow. I mean, you must understand. So when I transcribe my quotes, I'm also learning in the process of that, and I'm also making more quotes in the process. And you must understand that when you make quotes, you help people. I mean, you're saying you help someone. I mean, you must understand that the more I make quotes and the more I transcribe it into an audiobook or into a ebook and I put it up online somewhere, I'm understanding that someone eventually in the millennials and centuries and millions of years is going to come up to Danny Milivojevic and he's going to be able to read all those thoughts. I mean, you're saying, because it's never lost and it's on the internet, for example. So that's my purpose. And you must understand that eventually in a million years' time, I promise you, someone's going to find my YouTube account and they're going to say, oh, wow, Danny Milivojevic has really, really taught something and has really, really taught me an idea over here and stuff like that. And I'm learning every single day. You must understand. And that way I help someone. You understand? I mean, that's the whole point of life. I mean, every single day teaching. But I don't want to teach anymore. Like, for example, I want to teach all the time. But the thing is that I don't want to record myself blabbling. I don't want to record myself 24/7 of the day, for example. I mean, you understand? Because if I record my whole life 24/7 of the day, it gets boring. I mean, you understand? I mean, my audio programs become very boring. And that's what I've learned. I mean, make sure that when you record yourself, that you're providing your best information and that you are at your best attitude every single day and every single time you make something. I mean, you understand? So, for example, with my music production, I'm understanding that I've been struggling. With my music production, and I made this nice and beautiful track. But the thing is that I have to search for help, and I have to search for someone out there who can teach me and who can teach me lessons or anything like that, so that I can keep growing and so that I can keep doing my passions. I mean, you understand? Because I have to start reading much more from other people and how they make music. And I have to get that information. So I need that information to be able to make music. I mean, you understand? So I have to search for that information online. And there are plenty of people out there making music from scratch and stuff like that. And that's what I need to watch. I need to watch all that. I need to be able to stay consistent on that. Because I remember when I was in Alice Springs over there, and I understand Van Buren and Deadmau5 were making courses and master lessons and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is amazing. I mean, I get to do my passions this way and stuff like that. And understand that reading's a part of life. So you have to understand that, for example, I have music, I have Netflix, I have life coaching, I have words, I have silence, I have breathing, I have my body, I have my feelings. I mean, you must understand, I have images, I have my imagination, I have people, I have a world full of stars, everything. I mean, you must understand, I have God, I have Jesus Christ. I mean, I have to be grateful every single day for what I have. I mean, you understand? So I have to always give as much as possible, as much as I can, so that I can live my life to the fullest. So that's what I've learned, guys. I've learned, never record yourself if you're not going to talk much on the audio programs. And for example, do audio programs the way I've done this audio program. I mean, do you understand? So be coaching. I mean, be really into it every single day and coach as much as possible, because some of my audio programs, in terms of my life coaching programs, I've been blabbling and I've been really not paying attention to how I talk, for example, and I haven't also recorded some parts of myself where I'd be better off, where I'll be better off doing a better job, for example. So I didn't make my audio programs as good as this one, for example. I mean, in a sense, so I understand that every single day I have to always rely on myself every single day to understand that I have to coach as much as possible. So I have to always produce as much as possible. And I have to get my content up there. I have to get my content up there on the internet as much as possible. I have over 600 hours of videos I have to upload online, for example. And the only way I can do that is to have 3 phones. I have 3 phones at the moment. And because I have 3 phones, I can navigate. I can do Netflix. I have an iPad now. I understand I have an iPad for free. And my dad's not using the iPad, so I'm using the iPad for myself. And I have a screen. I have a holder for my iPad. And that's another thing I want to teach you, that when you get yourself an iPad, get yourself one of those stands for the iPad. And that way you can watch Netflix much easier on the bed, or you can watch it while you're sitting down on the table, for example, and all you have to do is scroll with the pen. You scroll with the pen through the cursor of the Netflix, and then you can watch Netflix that way, and you can enjoy your time. I mean, you understand? And that's the whole point. But if you're watching Netflix all the time, I promise you, it doesn't mean that you're producing content. I mean, you understand? But there's a time and place for Netflix, and you must understand that Netflix is an important way of life as well, and I agree with what's happening. But the thing is that every single day you have to always come up with new ideas. You have to come up with a better way of life all the time, so that you're actually living life to the fullest every single day. I mean, you understand? So that's the whole point of life. Every single day, learning and never struggling in life. Make sure you're never struggling. Make sure you're doing yourself a service every single day. Make sure every single day that you're always providing yourself with that edge. I mean, you're saying you have the edge of life. You're learning something in the process of life. I mean, you're giving as much as you can of yourself. I mean, you understand, and that's what you need to do. And you guys have to understand something, that not everybody's going to go through your content, and not everybody's going to care about your content, and nobody's. I promise you, you must understand that many people are not even going to watch you in life. I promise you, many people are not even going to be on your path, for example. So many people are going to. I promise you, many people are not going to. I promise you, many people are not going to understand that you live life and that you're living today. Do you understand? So every single day that you can live life to the fullest is all I'm saying. I mean, you have to understand that if you do something for yourself every single day, then that's the best thing. I mean, always understand that, for example, I have many people in my life over here where they're not really learning from me. I mean, do you understand? I have so much content online, but they're not willing to watch me. And that's going to happen to you as well. For example, your parents are not going to watch you as much as you want them to. I mean, you understand? So my parents don't even watch me as much as, for example, I want them to. I mean, you understand? But my dad always watches the television more than he watches me, for example. I mean, you understand? I'd rather watch my kids than the television, for example. I mean, you understand? I'd rather be into my kids. I'd rather every single day tune into their YouTube channels, see what they're doing. I mean, you understand? I mean, that's a new way of thinking. I mean, my mum as well. I mean, my mum doesn't go through my quotes. I mean, she doesn't go through my life. I mean, you understand? And that's the thing. I mean, she may see a bit of my life here and there, but she doesn't really invest her whole self to go through my content. I mean, you understand? I mean, she's not as interested. I mean, she believes I have nothing to teach her because she's so unaware about life. I mean, you must understand that she's unaware of all my thoughts. I mean, you understand? And all my thoughts make her a better person and nothing else. And it teaches them about me. I mean, it teaches, apparently, everything that I've said in life teaches you about me, for example. I mean, it teaches you about who I am. I mean, you understand? And I am not what I said. I am not what I do. I mean, you understand? I am not from this world. I mean, you understand? And you must understand that I am something much better than what I am. I'm always something better every single day. I mean, in a sense, so the thing is that every single day you have to be doing something to succeed and nothing else. So every single day, take yourself on an imaginational journey every single day, learning the best you can, doing the best you can every single day, learning as much as possible, making sure you're doing audio programs, making sure that you're doing audio programs as best you can every single day. And I'm understanding that you must understand that someday you may have kids, for example, and you must understand that your kids are going to go through your content and they're going to understand you much better this way. I mean, in a sense, so I'm understanding that, for example, I have to always do better in everything. I mean, in a sense, so I have to always encourage myself to understand much more about life. But that's the thing. I'm staying productive every single day. I'm doing something productive for myself. And what does productiveness mean? It just means that you're doing something that's worthy of your attention. I mean, they're saying something that's not a minor task, something that's a major task in your life, and making sure that you're doing something that's really helping other people is a productive way of life. I understand. So, for example, when I watch Netflix, for example, it's productive because it's helping my imagination. I mean, you understand. So when you help yourself, that's productiveness. I mean, you understand. So every single day, you have to always love your life. You have to understand every single day to do something that's successful. Every single day, learning, growing. I mean, you're saying teaching. I mean, as much as possible every single day. And that's how you always live your life. I mean, they're saying because today is technology. I mean, you must understand today you have technology. And for example, now I never again will get myself an iPhone. I'll never get myself an Apple Watch ever again, because I don't need an Apple Watch anymore. And now I appreciate the Apple Watch I have. For example, I have this Apple Watch, but I'm giving it to my mum. I mean, in a sense, I'm going to give my Apple Watch to my mum because she has an iPhone. And instead of me getting an iPhone or a shit iPhone for example, that has 16 gigabytes RAM, for example, or storage, I'd rather get myself a Fitbit and connect it up with my Samsungs, and forever and ever I always have everything I ever need. For example, in terms of technology, I have everything I ever need. I mean, and you must understand that there's always much more technology I can get around music, for example. I can always invest much more money into that, for example, for myself. So the thing is that I want to invest my money to watch other people do their music, and that's what interests me. So I want to sit down every single day for about 4 hours a day or something like that, and just watch other people make music. I mean, you're saying I want to watch people. I want to watch what they do. I mean, you're saying so. That's something that I have to invest into. I have to invest into that for myself, and I have to stay consistent on that every single day. Watching other people just mucking around on their software, so I can make sure I can spark my interest in making sure that I have a better music and that I make better music for myself, because you never know, I may go DJ somewhere in life. I may go become a DJ, for example. I have a DJ deck, but I'm not using it as much as possible, for example, at the moment. And my music's died down in some areas, but the thing is that I have to keep doing my music regardless. I have to always I love playing with sounds. I love playing with different sounds on what I can make, for example, in terms of music. I mean, in a sense, so I'm understanding that when you know what you're doing, for example, in terms of music production, it's always going to be much more easier when you don't know what you're doing. When in a sense, so the thing is, you have to learn what you're doing every single day, and you have to learn about exactly how to actually make content and do content for yourself every single day, and learning how to invest certain products into yourself every single day so you're growing. And just reading every single day is always going to be a better faction. It's going to always be a better way of life. I mean, in a sense, so the more you broadcast your thoughts out there, the better the better off you are in life. I mean, in a sense, I remember when Armin van Buuren was showing me things that he's doing in life on YouTube, and I was like saying, that's a dream come true, to be honest. I mean, he's always out there, he's making videos of himself. I mean, he's putting himself online, for example. I mean, he's not afraid to make YouTube work for himself. I mean, he's not afraid to get up on stage. I mean, he's not afraid to make videos of himself and put it up online somewhere so that people can watch him. I mean, he broadcasts his life online, and that's inspirational. I mean, you understand? And then I started doing it myself. I started making all these videos for myself, and I just started lecturing people. I started teaching people as much as possible. And then that led into more wisdom. I mean, that led me into much more of a better mindset every single day, learning, growing, and prospering, because I've read so much. I've read a lot of books, and you must understand that I may think it's a lot of books, but it's really a small amount of books I've read. I mean, you understand? But I've read something, and I've read a lot around a lot of people. I mean, you must understand, those people I've learnt from. I mean, you're saying it's not really, I promise you, it's not even a lot of people. I promise you, just some equivalent of some number of people I've learned from, and I just keep learning. I keep learning about different people. I keep learning about different information out there, learning to every single day do my life much better. And I'm much more of a non-fiction type of guy than I am a fiction guy. I mean, you understand? I'm much more about life, inspiration, motivation, ideas, innovation. I'm much more about that. I mean, you understand? So in fiction over here, I'm understanding you can always build your empathy skills, and you can learn from other people in terms of how they structure and everything like that. And for example, every single day, just listen to people's tonalities. I mean, listen to my tonalities in this audio program, how I invest myself in terms of what I do. I mean, you understand? I mean, you must understand that if you're not willing to do things for free, then guess what? I promise you, then you must understand that you have no passion that way. I mean, you must understand you have to always do something for free, because that way you always find what you want to do in life when you do it for free. I mean, you must understand that before I had no passion, I had no dreams. I mean, you must understand, I had a dream all the time, but my dream was always to pick up women, and it was to just fuck around and do nothing. I mean that's what my dream was. I mean, you understand? And I was going that road. I was going the road of sickness and disease and stuff like that. And today, I'm still going that road, but I'm not going that road as much as possible as I was before. But you must understand that I have to quit smoking cigarettes, and that's the main thing. I have to quit smoking cigarettes, and then caffeine is something that ruins your teeth. But the thing is that I brush my teeth as well, and It's more how I have to quit caffeine as well eventually. I have to go through that. So I have to live life to the fullest. I have to make sure I can do without that. I mean, you understand? So every single day I'm understanding I haven't been going to the movies much because I've been doing myself over here. I understand I'm just been conserving my energy every single day. I haven't been exercising as much as I need to. I mean, you understand? So I have to exercise much more. I have to get out there. I have to make sure that I do better. But I have to look inside for help. I have to look inside for everything. And I'm much more comfortable in doing a audio program than I am doing a video program, for example, because in audio programs I can just talk. I mean, you must understand, and you're not even watching me. I mean, you understand. But the thing is, you're watching what I say in terms of my words, and I have no problem with that. But I have no problem making videos. But you must understand that the thing is that every single day now I have much more purpose. I have much more of something I'm doing, and people have to understand that. You must understand that many people are working for money. I mean, you understand? They're just like working for money, and they have no purpose other than that. I mean, you understand? I mean, their purpose is wake up every single day in the morning, go to work, make $200 a day, and feed the family. I mean, you understand? Feed the family, have a roof over your head, have a car, and that's it. I mean, that's their life. I mean, you understand? Maybe paying off debts. I mean, they get themselves into debts. I mean, you understand? I mean, they get themselves into credit and stuff like that. They're paying off their student loans. I mean, you understand? I mean, that's their purpose. And that's not a purpose at all. I mean, you understand? So it's not what you do while you're making money. I promise you, it's what you do when you're doing it for free. I mean, what are you doing for free in this world? I mean, you have to think about that. You have to think, for example, my friends over here are just living life so that they can have a roof over their head, and so that they can have money in their pocket, and so that they can feed their family and nothing else. I mean, that's boring. I mean, you understand? I mean, that's a boring life. But you must understand that if you're going to do that, make sure that you're doing something for free on the side, like reading and working on your imagination every single day, making sure that you're helping other people and living a great legacy. I mean, you're saying having a great legacy for yourself, doing as much work in the planet as possible every single day, uploading as much content as possible. So one day I'm gonna have to cut away with doing all these coaching videos and words, for example. I'm gonna have to stay away from it. I mean, you're saying, because I won't be able to upload as much content as possible anymore. And you must understand that eventually my body's going to wear out and I'm not going to have much energy anymore. And the moment you die or pass away from this world is the moment you have no more energy to live. I mean, you understand? So you must understand that eventually you start to age much more and you have less energy in life. So every single day you must understand, I see a lot of wrestlers over here. I'm understanding they made content, but you must understand that they're failing in many areas of life. For example, steroid abuse, and they're not creating content on their own. I mean, they don't have their own YouTube channels. For example, Steve Austin, in terms of Stone Cold Steve Austin, is doing a lot of words around wrestlers, and that's a good thing. And you must understand, Chris Jericho also has a podcast where he's making a lot of things happen with words. I mean, you must understand, every single day have a lot of things happening with words, because that's where the passion is. And the more words you describe in life, the better for you. I mean, you're saying, and the more you're going to live life this way. I mean, you understand? So, for example, my doctor, for example, I mean, he just sits in the office here all day long. I mean, just talking to different people every single day. I mean, maybe building his communicational skills and stuff like that. But you must understand that he's bored. I mean, you must understand he probably has $100,000 a year, but he's stuck in a 9-to-5 job. You must understand he's going to retire very soon, and he's going to have some money in his pocket, for example. But you must understand that the thing is that he doesn't have a purpose on YouTube or anything like that. I mean, he doesn't have social media to help other people or to teach his doctorate ideas every single day. I mean, I mean, if you're not teaching life approach, then you're losing. I mean, you must understand that. So if you're not teaching life every single day, then you're always going to lose. So just always teach life as much as possible. Teaching is the best thing. So if you're a singer, teach how to sing. Instead of just singing, just teach how to sing as well. Do something passionate for yourself. Do something that's going to help you to be passionate. and nothing else. Every single day, just coaching as much as possible, and it's what you need to be doing every single day. So, for example, myself, I'm understanding that 49 minutes of my life has gone quickly. I mean, I took myself on a journey somewhere. I became much more aware about some things. I mean, I describe my story every single day as much as possible. I live my life as much as possible. When you understand, I'm trying to be all I can be. But the thing is that when I was younger, I wasn't as smart as I wasn't as smart as I am today, and I wasn't giving as much as I am today. I'm giving much more. And what am I giving? I'm giving more information. I'm spilling over in terms of information. I'm giving a lot of information out there as much as possible. I mean, you understand, I have some type of information that I'm giving, and that's going to inspire someone to succeed. And for example, once I put all my content up online, firstly, someone's going to reach my content, and they're going to come up to my content, and you must understand that they're going to be helped by me. I mean, you must understand that somebody out there like you, for example, you found this on YouTube, for example, because this audio program's on YouTube, and you must understand that I'm making this in the year 2022. So what year is it in your faction over there? I mean, what year is it? I mean, maybe whatever year it is. I mean, look how distance of time brought you to me. I mean, you understand? I mean, you must understand. So you found me on the internet. I mean, you understand? Go check out my Instagram. So Instagram's still around all the time. And you'll find all my Mega Drive content in my YouTube link below. And just search up for my life and see all that I'm doing in life. I mean, you understand? So I'm making a long legacy. I'm making something happen. I mean, you understand? So search up all my content. Do my content. Do what I'm doing every single day. And just learn. I mean, learn every single day as much as possible. I mean, that's what you need to be doing. I mean, expand your horizon every single day. Learning as much as possible. Living life to the fullest every single day. Doing the best you can. And you must understand that the more you create content, the more you can understand what you made, and the more you can also understand exactly what you need to do to succeed. And that's it. So for example, I'm a millionaire because I feel like a millionaire. I mean, you understand? I feel like I'm doing better at the moment. I mean, you understand? At the moment I'm doing better. But when I smoke cigarettes, I feel that I haven't been doing as better as I can. I mean, you understand? So you must understand that there's a lot of things I have to do in life, and I have to always pronounce myself much better every single day. But you can see my YouTube channel, you can see my fashion photos on Instagram and YouTube thumbnails, and you can see exactly why I'm doing what I do. I mean, you're saying you can see why I've done that. I mean, because I want to set a good example for everybody. I mean, you're saying I want to do better, and I'm going to get myself back into fashion photos eventually, and I'm going to make sure I'm going to keep doing it for the rest of my life. But eventually that's going away from me as well. I mean, in a sense. So what you can do also is you can go and take photos of, for example, certain things of paintings and stuff like that, of art. And you can take small details, and you can take photos of small details on the actual paintings, of spray paint on the street and stuff like that. So for example, when you see my fashion photos, I always take photos in front of paints or spray paint, for example. And then what I do is I take photos of the spray paint, and I take certain photos of different angles of different spray paint, and then I make meanings out of those spray paint. I make meanings from that, and then I can also keep on going with that, for example, and I can make sure that I do for myself, because then I just live life. Do you know how people, for example, when they drink coffee, or they drink Turkish coffee, for example, the black coffee, and then they look in the cup, and they give meanings to the cup? I mean, yes, and I mean, that's what I do with the spray paint, for example. So I just take photos, and then certain paintings or certain spray paint comes at me in different forms, and I just make meanings and goals out of it. And that's what I can do as well. So you must understand that when you're looking at photos, or when you're looking at your room, try to describe what is much bigger than something else. I mean, you understand? And what's a better design than something else in life? So the best design is always the smallest thing rather than the largest thing. But also the largest thing is also a design. But you must understand, you always have to look at what's a better design. So that bottle or the TV, I promise you must understand that bottle has a certain design, and so does the TV. So you must understand everything's equal, but you must understand that you can see exactly that the bottle is much smaller than the TV, and you can see by how much as well, and you understand that's the design. So every single day, just design yourself. Every single day, designing something, learning to understand that I designed this audio program, for example. I designed it myself. I mean, nobody helped me. I mean, in a sense, so I'm helping myself over here. Because if I didn't do this, then if I didn't do my quotes and I didn't do my audio programs and I didn't do what I do, I'd have nothing. I'd have nothing. I mean, you understand? I have really nothing to look forward to. I mean, you understand? I'd be doing nothing. I'd be watching TV, for example, but sometimes not even watching TV, just watching the ceiling. I mean, watching the ceiling. I mean, you understand? I mean, watching the ceiling for 24 hours. I mean, how boring is that? I mean, there's a time to watch the ceiling. I mean, you understand? When you're just about to go to bed and you're just watching the ceiling, for example. I mean, you understand? For a bit. I mean, there's a time to watch the ceiling, for example. There's a time for everything. I mean, you understand? But the thing is, every single day, learn. I mean, learn as much as possible. I mean, that's what your purpose is. To just describe as much as possible, to live your life as much as possible, nothing else. Living life to the fullest every single day, teaching as much as possible, and learning. I mean, just learning something. So I'm understanding, I'm very proud of myself today. I did something. I've been staying productive the whole day. I made 133 quotes. I transcribed 133 quotes into my ebook. I have another 900 to go until I make my quote book 6. And then, for example, I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep listening to Eric Brid's podcast at the moment and just keep learning and just keep growing and nothing else, guys. So that's my podcast, guys. Just make sure every single day you just keep learning, keep growing, keep broadcasting your thoughts out there as much as possible, learning as much as possible, and nothing else. See, so guys, so finally I have my hands up in the sky because I quit caffeine, I quit cigarettes now. And the thing is that I'm going through discomfort now, and not right now, but I'll be going through discomfort. And that's the key to success. So when you actually go through discomfort every single day, you're going to be able to grow. You're going to be able to go into the person that you want to be. So my next meal is going to be Weet-Bix with soy milk. I have enough food for today. And I'm rich in food. I'm rich in fiber. I'm rich in proteins. I have a lot of food for myself over here. I have a lot of money. And now I don't have a lot of money. I have around $2,000 in my bank account at the moment. But it's plenty to live on for the next fortnight, for example. And I'm someone who gets a disability support pension, for example. So I understand that for myself over here, I'm going to be on the disability support pension until the doctor gets me off the medication. And once the doctor gets me off the medication, I then will go and work a 9-to-5 job. But I found out recently that I'm not going to be at my mum's house for long. I'm going to be over there for a short period of time. I'm understanding that it's going to be a long period of time as well. I'm going to be there for 3 months, for example. And then I'm coming back and I'm going to be able to watch the soccer with my dad. I'm going to watch Serbia and Croatia in the World Cup. And I'm understanding that I'm not going to be watching the World Cup with my mum, for example. So that's going to be different. But the thing is that my mum wants me to go to Serbia. And she wants me to stay in Serbia with my cousins for a bit. And I'm asking my mum to come with me over there, but she doesn't feel like going with me over there. But we'll see anyway what's going to happen. But as time approaches by very quickly, I see exactly what I need to do to succeed. And my phone, in terms of my 3 phones that I have everything I ever need in terms of technology. I understand that what I can do is now subscribe to the Nice and Beautiful DJing over there in terms of the electronic music masterclasses, where I can watch other people make music, because that way I'll learn something. And I can do that for myself. But I can also reconnect to the Spotify, for example. I can have 3 months of free Spotify for myself. And I have my Optus phone now, which is my other Android phone. and that phone uploads all my content in terms of audio programs, because my audio programs are not going to be seen by other people on the web browser, which is Mega Drive, for example. So when I post it up on YouTube, I promise you everybody's going to be watching my content in little bits of information, and that way I spread positivity through my channel like that, and I give ideas as much as I can every single day. So I understand that's something I put into perspective, but my life is looking better now in terms of what I'm doing now. I'm helping myself to have a cleaner life, to cleanse myself of nicotine, and I'm understanding every single day I want to cleanse myself of everything, and I want to do better. I want to make sure every single day I live my life to the fullest. Every single day I do something productive for myself. I'm understanding I do want to Netflix, but after this program over here, I'm going to be doing some Netflix. I started my other quote book, which is my quote book 6. I'm making an appearance with that, and I'm making forward notions over here to make sure that I'm living my life to the fullest. So that's the whole point of life, and that's just, I understand that what's important, guys, is just documenting your life through audio programs as much as you can, so that way you can upload it to YouTube and somebody's listening to you. So for example, when I talk as much as possible in this lifetime, and I document it and I upload it to online somewhere, and I upload it to YouTube, for example, I'm understanding that somebody is listening to me. So I'm working right now, for example, and I'm having a conversation with myself, but people are listening to me. I'm doing something to succeed, and that's the main thing, because the more I upload content online now, the better for me, and the more I do my work. So the thing is that what you can do for yourself is you can make as many voice memos as possible for yourself and start uploading it online into YouTube, for example. And then while you're actually making these voice programs, you upload it to YouTube, and that way somebody is always listening to you, and that way you're always making a difference. I mean, you understand? So if you're not positive on your voice, or if you're not positive on the way you speak, you start slowly. You start teaching people through audio programs, or you start teaching people through a journal. Slowly and slowly you will get there, and you will get somewhere much higher. You will start to vibrate into a life coach. I mean, you'll start teaching people exactly what you need to do in your life, and then you explain your life story to people. You give your whole perspective of who you are every single day to people, and that way you do better for yourself, and you're actually growing that way. I understand for myself over here, I'm understanding it's a Thursday. I'm understanding that I could have went to poker earlier, but the thing is I stayed home. I woke up at around 1 o'clock this afternoon, and I have an appointment next week with my doctor. And for example, now, since I'm flying with my content, I'm actually uploading really quickly online, very quickly now. I'm uploading 1 hour segments of videos up online, because it's much easier to read and stuff like that, and that way I do better for myself. And I'm understanding that as soon as I get all my content up online, I'm understanding that my journal, for example, is something different. And my journal, I'm understanding that I have all my content and everything that I've ever done in my audio programs and inside of my YouTube videos, for example. So I'm understanding that my journal is something extra that you guys can read, and it's something extra, for example, in terms of what you never do. And I understand that it's something different, but it's something extra. So something that I want to upload in terms of my journal, eventually I want to upload it online somewhere, and I want to upload it in segments. I want to upload different life stories of myself, in terms of my age, in terms of how I was at 16, how I was at age 27, age 26, age 28, age 29, and I want to upload that slowly into one PDF file, and I want to make ebooks based on that. So that's how I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to try upload 4 ebooks for myself. At the moment I have 4 ebooks worth of notes, in terms of journaling notes, that I want to upload online, and that's going to be Danny Milivojevic journal, and that's it, apparently. And then people can just read what I've done in that, and that way I understand that way all my content is going up online very quickly, as much as possible now, and I'm in the process of uploading as much as possible. So I understand that's my purpose. I mean, my purpose is to get my message across, and that's it. I promise you nothing else. I promise you it's not about the money. I'm understanding that it's about just improving this world and nothing else. And understand that's my purpose. I mean, all you can do is spread information in the world. So the more information you spread about yourself and other people or whatever it is, I mean, the more you learn from other people and the more you spread positivity in the world, the more it comes back to you and the more positive you are in general. So never talk negative about other people. Make sure every single day that you always reflect upon everybody's positive traits, and that way you do better. So I'm understanding that for myself today. I'm understanding I have a nice day ahead of me. I'm understanding that I'm going to be doing a great job for myself. I'm going to do something that's helping me grow every single day, and I'm going to make sure every single day I can do as best as I can for myself to grow. But I'm going to have fun in Germany with my mum. I'm probably it's going to be a reunited thing about me and her. And it's going to be a reunion. I mean, it's going to be a reunion between me and my mum. And it's been 5 long years, but the thing is that I've been talking to my mum via WhatsApp, and WhatsApp as an app. I promise you, WhatsApp is a application. It's an application where you just talk to people online for free, and you call them via Viber or via Facebook Messenger or something like that via the phone that's connected to the Wi-Fi, and it's called WhatsApp in 2022. And Mark Zuckerberg owns WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram. So for example, I understand that, for example, that guy wants everything, man. I mean, it's so funny. So everything that I do now is I try to grow myself as much as possible. I try to give words of advice and wisdom out there as much as possible, so that I'm growing myself and so that I'm just performing to the best ability that I can every single day, making sure that I'm doing my work out there as much as possible. So I'm growing, I'm living my life to the fullest now as much as possible. I understand that I need to do better. I need to actually go through the discomfort every single day. I need to recognize that there is a better world for me and that I can really grow in terms of what I have, in terms of my life. And that's it, guys. So make sure every single day that you're growing, and make sure that you're doing something to help your life, because nothing else is much better than that.